What's up, everybody? We're here with another live edition of Tap In Eagle. Of course, every week, Fernando Palomares is with me here. I'm Nick Cousin. But this week, we have another special guest who Fernando knows very well, has caddied for Fernando in Mexico, Julian Goldstone. Julian, how are we today, man?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me in the show. I'm excited to share, some stories of, golf, Fernando, life. So,
Oh yeah, we definitely want to hear some stories about Fernando, but let's first Fernando, tell us about the you played in your qualifying tournament this week. Tell us how that went, man.
Yeah, man, crazy week. As you know, Q school is the hardest week of the year. There's so much pressure. It means so much because you can have like an actual schedule for the rest of the year. And, I didn't play good the first day. And the second day I played well, but I didn't score that well. So I was against the ropes on the final day. I didn't play that good either, but in the end I managed to play well the final 9 holes, and he was good enough to earn a conditional status here in Mexico. So very excited about that. Very happy that I'm going in the right direction. I played today. I played really well. So just trying to keep improving. And actually, I've been doing like the aim point system on the putting, like pacing out my putts, like how to control the distance, which is the most important thing. And man, I did in three putt on the 3 days. I had zero three putts, man. That was incredible because the greens were so fast and firm.
Oh, we love that for you, Fernando. No three putts.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not like me out here, but that's why you're trying to qualify and I don't. So there we go. All right, Julian. So you know some inside on Fernando here. So we have to hear what it is like caddying for him.
I think he's one of the easiest golfers to caddy, or the easiest. I've only seen him get mad for like one time. He's just the easiest. It doesn't get mad at a bad shot, always positive. So, it's I would caddy for him anytime. I wouldn't have any problems with
Well,
him.
now you can caddy for me at the Mexican Pro Tour.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um,
Better than our friend Paul, who's probably watching this.
yeah, Paul's always watching, right? He's our your number 1 fan, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I think Fernando has a quality to be a true professional player. I think you're only you're missing that killer instinct, I guess. That when you smell blood and you have to go for it. I think that's your only thing you have to work for.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you have the
man.
positive vibes, Fernando, which we like. You're the good guy, but you need like the Brooks Kepka or something like, I'm gonna kill everybody type shot every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
gotta get my bad boy attitude now.
yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so Julian, I know you were excited to come on, so let's get to know you a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You lived in the United States. You lived in now you're in Mexico. You're a chef. You've caddied. You play golf. So just tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing.
Yeah. So I actually moved to Mexico last year, got married, have a kid already, 3-month baby. And, my life changed a little bit. I used to play a lot in Querétaro. I used to play, with Fernando a couple of times a week. And so it's been a 180-degree change in life, but, like it over here. Uh, I don't I don't cook anymore professionally. I'm more of a broker in business, but I cook every day, as a hobby. And I used to work in restaurants in California, in San Antonio, and then Hamptons. And strangely enough, I used to pass all the time Shinnecock, and I was 36 handicap, didn't know much, and now that I know, I was like, I should have try to play at either Bethpage, which is public and it's sort of near the Hamptons. But yeah, missed out on that.
So that's cool that you've seen it though.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
and
what were your impressions when you saw it? Does it
uh,
look as hard as it plays?
oh yeah, yeah, and I have an uncle who lives in the Hamptons, and I'm gonna visit this July, and I'll probably, if I'm lucky, I'll play Maidstone. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah,
You have a signature dish that you do that
I,
you make?
I like Italian, food, so I'll make a really good rigatoni. Risotto is easy to do. So, maybe one day I'll cook for you guys.
Thank
I'm
you,
I'm
man.
gonna come down there. I told Fernando I'm gonna come down there, and hit some driver and see how far it goes in that elevation down there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you'll get a kick out of
Even Julian can hit it 300 yards out here.
it. Yeah.
That's
So,
good. How did you get into the golf side of things, Julian?
I was always a soccer player all my life, and like I remember in Juriquilla and Querétaro, where Fernando, plays. I used to go in summer camps, and like I don't know if it was a natural, but I won like the kids like long drive, and I didn't even know how to hit the ball. So uh, I guess I got into it when I was living in the States. Uh, got to play in San Antonio, public courses with all the chefs when I was living there. So, in our day off, we just, hit the public course and, drank beers, very amateur golf, which was fun. And then as I grew older, my uncle who lives in the Hamptons gave me a set of clubs when I lived there, and I started playing much better. And when I returned to Querétaro, I started playing a lot. All the courses, and then Cibata. I used to play three three to four times a week. Got my handicap down to 6, and that was like my best handicap. So.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I got really into it because I couldn't play soccer anymore, so golf's my thing now.
Fernando, what's the story? How did you meet Julian?
Yeah, like our friend Paul, we had some friends in common here, and actually,
Sebas,
Paul
no?
Paul told me that you said that Scottie Scheffler missed the 2 footer to lose to Hovland, but and he looked it up and he said he was 4 feet.
4 feet. Well, that's still pretty short though.
Yeah.
You should be making those. You Scottie Scheffler. Come on.
Yeah, he hit it way too hard, man.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I guess you kind of had us jump into it. So let's get into it. How about that? All right. Viktor Hovland winning the playoff had to get pushed to Monday. Then took about 15 minutes and it was over. But they were both pretty dialed in. Driver down the fairway on the tee shot and then approach shots, both within 8 feet. Scottie was 4. Viktor was 8. Viktor just makes it. Scottie pushes it. What do we think about this? Because this was absolute cinema, as I called it, on Sunday, because Hovland started with the lead, then he was 2 shots back, then tied it up, and then it was just par, all the way to 18 to force the playoff.
Yeah, once again, we saw how a weather delay can affect the game so much, and we see it in tennis too. And Hovland was way off the lead, and suddenly he started making some birdies, and with a clutch putt on the first play of hole, and Scotty just hit it way too hard, and he hit that same putt in regulation, and he also hit it way too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but if Scotty had his putter hot all the time, he would be, getting Tiger numbers. And maybe this comparison or this analogy would with his putter on short, maybe from 4 to 6 footers, he's like struggling. Like, remember when Spieth used to do that, and he couldn't hit a putt, from short range, and he hit some pretty well, the 10, 20 footers. He can hit them, but I don't know what's happening with Scottie.
And I saw with Viktor too. He's trying to find his game again. He hadn't won since March of 2025 at the Valspar. And I thought he was trending a little bit because he had a top 10 at the RBC Canadian, and then he missed the cut the US Open. And while everybody is playing the US Open on the weekend, he had a 4-hour session on the range where he's hitting irons for an hour. He hit over 230 golf balls. So we obviously found something there. So have you ever done anything like that where you're trying to find something on the range and then it works out like that?
Yeah. Oh, Julian, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Fair.
Yeah, I think like Victor has always been a great ball striker. Scotty said it himself, and he won back in Oklahoma State. We had two Oklahoma State winners this week with Eugenio Chacarra too, and I think Victor actually his weak part of the game was the putting. This week he missed a couple of short putts too. So I think this proves that the most important part of the game is the long game. Putting is overrated statistically.
I don't know if I think putting's what makes all the underscores or the birdie fest, because these guys are so good that if you can miss a fairway you can still get it into the green, or a chip in. In my opinion, I think having short game in putting is what wins it, because look at the statistics. Sometimes when Scheffler is off his driver, and he's still making birdies, because I think he has his irons are pretty good, and then he has hot putter.
We can disagree. That's all good. I know Fernando likes the Nelly Corda game where you hit it so close to the hole you don't even have to put it for that much. So that's okay. We can disagree on that, but where does Scottie Scheffler go from here? Because this is now his 4th runner-up finish, his 35th straight top 25 as well. So we know he's the best golfer based on where he finishes, and he finally had a good first round too.
Yeah.
Because we've all know he plays chaser on the weekends where he falls behind the first round, and then he finds himself on the top 10 of the leaderboard by the end of the weekend. So after a good start, the way he finished this time, he didn't finish it out great. So now what do we think about Scottie going forward here?
I think go ahead, Fernando.
No, you go.
I mean, I think he's he's not going to move anything. He's just going to go along his way and keep grinding and working on his putter. But I think like he said, if you look at the statistics, I'm doing great. He's never going to say, oh, I'm losing and I can't find my game. He's like, if you just look at the statistics, I'm the best player, because finishing, I'm just I don't know what you think, Fernando.
Yeah, I think he is putting Tiger's numbers. I think he's the best player on the planet by a long margin. It's like I think the third player, I mean, the 100 player in the world is closer to the second best player in the world, and the second is closer to Scotty. It's not even close, and I think if the PGA Tour had a podium, I think it would be more visually clear that Scotty's dominance, because he would be there every single week.
Yeah, Scottie would be actually celebrating being on the podium if he was if he was on live, people would be
exactly.
I think one of the most impressive performances, especially on Sunday, was Colin Morikawa shooting the 61, and he set the number in the clubhouse. He's sitting there after the rain delay. He finishes before the rain delay, and he's swinging the club in the clubhouse, trying to stay loose. But this was an impressive performance because I didn't know where he was when he played the RBC Canadian before the U.S. Open. That finishes top 10 at the U.S. Open as well. Everyone's wondering how healthy he is with the back and everything. So to see him shoot a 61, And seeing how well he played at the beginning of the year, because he won at Pebble Beach as well, I think Collin Morikawa's back. Am I wrong saying that?
No, I think you're totally right. He's as like Hovland, I think he's just a great ball striker. And when he finds his putter, I think he can get hot as well.
Yeah, I remember one of our first episodes of the year. You were talking how Morikawa was fading and how he didn't belong at the top tier anymore. And look at him. I mean, he missed a heartbreaking putt on 17, but he made it up with a great birdie from the fairway bunker on the last hole. It was not enough, but I mean, he should be one of the favorites for the Open.
That's what I'm saying. I'll put some money on that for him to win the Open this year. But I did get on him at the beginning of the year, but I also was hating on Wyndham Clark, and here we are with Wyndham Clark as well. So let's get into that, because Wyndham Clark, he probably had the most impressive performance with everything that happened at the U.S. Open, getting booed by his own country's fans, people rooting against him, wins the U.S. Open, and then after the U.S. Open, where he said he was running on fumes this last week at the Travelers Championship, finishes T5. And we should just continue to put some money on this guy to finish top 10, because I don't know when the next time he might finish outside there.
Yeah, another solid player right now, and you can see it was in coincidence that he won the first U.S. Open. So I think he's becoming one of the generational talents. I'm sorry. And so I think it's a good watch as well for top 10.
Yeah, Wyndham is putting better than anyone, and his short game is incredible. I mean, obviously he hits it as long as anybody, but wow, what a short game! I'm impressed. And another U.S. Open to him, and he was like one shot away. He was tied for the lead at some point on Sunday.
Yep, he was. And then I don't know if you saw the shot on 17 where he kind of underhit it a little bit and was short and it went into the water.
Oh
But
no!
he had this shot where he was trying to hit it low into the 17 green, because it was a little elevated, but there was water in front, and he completely whiffed on it, and it was short and rolled into the water, and that's kind of what took
Oh no!
him out of contention there. And when he was asked about that shot, he just said, yeah, like he lost his thoughts for a moment, just because it was getting to him at that point, that it was all hitting him from everything they had to do with the U.S. Open, for the media obligations and the partying and everything. It kind of all hit him there down the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just has a solid game all around, and that's what you need, like we were talking about. And
At least it didn't get to him like a JT Post.
Yes. Yeah, so he got 7 on one hole.
What did he do? Did
12.
he do like a 12? Yeah.
12, yeah.
He was like 2. He had 2 in front of the green, and he ended up shooting at 12.
Yeah, like he went to the bunker to the water, couldn't get it out of the rough, the drop. I think he did like drop, went to the water, drop, went to the water, like whiffed the ball. I don't know what happened.
And he just won the Memorial, one of the toughest courses in the world.
Yeah. Crazy. And he did well at the U.S. Open too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows what happens. But I think somebody that, I don't know when we're going to see him next, probably Scottish Open, right? Rory McIlroy. He gets the special exemption to keep his PGA Tour status, because he'll end up falling one short of the minimum to keep his card. And I did a video on this, Fernando knows, and he knows how I feel about Rory right now. Kind of the PGA Tour thanking him for being the sacrificial lamb, as he quoted it, for defending the PGA Tour against LIV and the anti-LIV stuff. And this year we're like, okay, well, when's he going to play? Turns out this week, instead of playing at the Travelers, Nick Faldo was doing a video, and Rory was there. He was playing a practice run at Royal Birkdale, so we know where Rory was this week, and he was at the Travelers. He was across the pond taking a practice round at Royal Birkdale, and that's what he's been doing this whole time. I mean, he didn't play a bunch leading up to the Masters, to play at Augusta, didn't play a bunch leading up to the U.S. Open to play at Shinnecock. So this is what Rory does now, but the PGA Tour letting him get away with it, Fernando.
Yeah, I think he's smart. He only cares about the majors. Like, who cares if you win the Canadian Open? That's his mindset. And the thing is, he is on the he. I'm not sure if he's still on the PGA Tour board, but if he's not happy with the schedule, they're just gonna change the schedule like they did.
Well, yeah, and also I think it's kind of, you're going to change. You can do this Challenger and Championship Series coming up in 2 years too. So if you want somebody to buy in to the schedule, you want them to play the events too.
Yeah, it's better to if he keeps the events, then they have more leverage to change the schedule.
Yeah. So yeah, they just don't want all the signature events after majors back to back weeks. That seems what the disagreement's been this whole year from these top players.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
That's a lot of golf.
Too much golf.
Too much. What do you think, Julian?
I think it's passed through top players, and they don't want to be burned out, or like you guys say, play signature events one after the other. So like you say, if Rory, he's been doing this for several years, right? I remember like he just chooses to play signature and majors because he can do it. It's he doesn't live off of golf. He's not trying to make a cut and get some money. So it's not about that anymore.
And I know Fernando and I like what the PGA Tour is going to do with the Challenger and Championship Series. But now that we have you on here, Julian, what are your thoughts on that? What do you like it? Not like it?
I've read a little bit of it, and I think it's a good format because it just brings the level up. It just it separates the really good golfers from the rest of the pack.
Definitely. That's
Yeah.
what I see. And then we're also back to the original traditional style of, hey, we're going to have cuts and a full 130 golfer field as well. That's also what I like.
Yeah, yeah. Cuts always should be. It's part of the golf. And Live came to do some things, but at the end of the day, there's some major changes that I think going in a positive direction.
Yeah, if you look
Fernando,
at the John Deere Classic, that's probably what it's gonna look like for the Challenger Series next in 2 years.
and that's a good tournament that I've covered in person. We'll get into that in a second here, but I know Fernando, you always love to give some love to the DP World Tour. And you mentioned them a little bit. OSU golf, big week for them. That was a good week of articles for me on OK State Roundtable, which I'm a writer for. So go check that out. But a little plug there for me. But Chacarra goes back to back, 2 national opens in a row, and he really took charge of this on Sunday, shooting 64. That impressive finish for him.
Yeah, no way. I mean, a few years back he was playing on Live. They recruited him as being one of the top amateurs in the world, and suddenly he was having no fun there. He said he lacked motivation, and suddenly he resigned the fireballs and a lot of guaranteed money to chase his dream of earning his way to the top. And boy, he has played incredible golf this year. He almost won in India, and now back-to-back wins. He beat Matthew Wallace and Joaquin Niemann at their top of their game. He played a flawless round. He shot minus 24. I mean, just incredible. One of the best performances of the year.
What was his exact quote? He said why he left Live, he kind of lost that competitive side. And so he wanted to get it back. And so he was like, I'm going to do this the hard way and try to get my PGA Tour card through the DP World Tour, which right now it's looking good. He's sitting third in the race to Dubai standing. So we should get to know this name to be on the PGA Tour next year.
Yeah, we don't know if the status is gonna change, if they're gonna grant him a card to the tier 1 or tier 2, but still, he is gonna play the Open and he could win the Open.
First ever Open championship for him. And there was a lot of low scores. The first two rounds, so the first round, Joaquin Niemann set the course record. The second round, Matthew Wallace set the course record, and then you have 60, 64, 63 from Chacarra on the weekend. So a lot of low scores there at the Italian Open, Fernando.
Yeah, man, my boy Dylan Fritelli was hanging in there. I picked him last week, and he ended up missing the top 10 by one. But I'm still gonna go with him this week at the John Deere.
Former champion of the John Deere Classic. We'll get there as well. Do you watch any DP World Tour golf, Julian?
Not really. I mean, I sometimes I'll read the news, and I read that Chacarra, he seems bigger. When I saw him, he seems
yeah, he is a
right
big guy. He could play some American football out here.
Yeah,
be a good offensive lineman, block for the quarterback.
Yeah, but I should watch a little bit more. Just don't have a lot of time right now.
they showed him celebrating, and they had like 10 Italian Napolitan pizzas in front of him.
Nice. I will say the DP World Tour trophies for the tournaments are way better than the PGA Tour trophies. The Austrian Open, they had like skis as the trophy, like alpine skis. So I'd rather win some tournaments on the DP World Tour. Those would be some cool trophies.
Yeah, and the courses are great. This week they're playing in Munich for the 37th straight year. Very classic, very tree-lined, and the DP World Tour knows how to pick their courses for sure.
Yeah, and for all those out there who are going to watch, the betting favorites is Niemann's back in the field since there's not any live events till after the Open. He's the overwhelming favorite, plus 800, because the next betting favorite is 1,600. My guy on Halayora, that's my guy. I always pick him every week. Almost did last week. And Eugenio Chacarra, so maybe he can win 3 in a row as well, Fernando.
Yeah, we talked about Niemann's great comeback at the U.S. Open, and he he finished third last week. He got 0 points on the race to Dubai because he's not a member of the DP World Tour. And Angel Ayora finished top 5 again for like the 10th time this year with 0 wins to his name. And he has to come eventually. He's going to come.
Crazy.
So why not this week?
There we go. Well, that he's one of my picks. I'm going with him. And like I said, Ayora, I pick him every week. And Patrick Reed is there as well again, back on the DP World Tour. Remember, beginning of the season, he won 3 tournaments in a row, and now he's already qualified to go back on the PGA Tour, so he doesn't play as much, but that'd be a good top 10 this week. And then you, Fernando, you're going with Matty Schmid, Chacarra, and then your Mexican hermano, Carlos Ortiz.
Yeah, Patrick Reed missed the cut at the U.S. Open, but the DP World Tour loves him. I think he should stay there. Like, why go back to the PGA Tour? Matty Schmid is a local favorite in Munich. He practices not so far from there. And our Ortiz, he almost won the U.S. Open last year. Didn't fare as well this year at the majors, but this course should suit him well.
Viva. Mm-hmm. We're loving
Viva
after,
Mexico.
After the win last night.
Man, that was incredible. Hope you guys get a dub against Bosnia tonight.
Oh, we will. That's for sure. It's already minus 600. We're big time.
Man, Congo was minus 600 and almost got it done.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get ready for that tonight. But we still have some other golf this weekend. This is one close to my heart because I covered it for 3 years back in my local news days. Played the course as well. TPC Deere Run out there in the Quad Cities. John Deere Classic Week. And this is a great field this year because there's a lot of golfers looking for points still in the FedEx Cup standings. Long course, but if you get it in the fairway, there's a lot of drivable par 5s and par 4s, so we could see a lot of birdies out there. And this week, Ben Griffin's the favorite, followed by Chris Gotterup. And this was what you said. This is how we know Jackson Coyven is that good. It's his first pro start, and he's the 3rd best betting favorite right now going into this. So that's how good he is.
Yeah,
You want to say
should be
something, Julian?
exciting, to see Koiven. So we got to keep an eye on that.
Gotta remember Jordan Speed won this back in the day as a 19-year-old.
I was
So
there. I
might be
saw
a
him
little
hole out.
foreshadowing with
Yeah.
Jackson
Yeah,
on the
this is
fifth playoff hole. Well, you were there, right?
I was there. Yeah. I was there in high school when he won the Spieth in the playoff when he holed out on 18 and turned pro and then went on his crazy run to win the Open, the US Open. Now he's kind of fallen off, but he was there last year. He's back this year. Ricky Fowler's there, Max Homa, Keegan Bradley. They have a great field this year. Zach Johnson always goes and plays because he's from an hour down the road from where this course is. And I've played this course as somebody who covered it as media. They let you play the course a couple weeks beforehand. So that was the biggest realization for me, though, Fernando, how long this course actually is, because I was hitting from the white tees, and then I asked one of the tournament coordinators. I said, "Well, where are the PGA Tour guys hitting from?" Yeah, you see that tee box like 50 yards, 100 yards back? Yeah, that's where they're hitting from. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this hole's already 470 whatever yards, like.
And
So
it's not that high, in altitude.
yeah, it's also a crazy walk because it's super hilly. So you'll have like a straight hole that like is either a dog leg and then after the dog leg you're hitting up. Your tee box is on the ground and then the green's on a hill. So very hilly and crazy course. But for the fact that Jackson Koiven is the betting favorite, what are your expectations for him? Because we know how good he is, and he didn't have to stay in college as long as he did because he was better rankings than some of the pros on the PGA Tour. So what are your expectations for him?
Yeah, I didn't understand why he didn't turn pro sooner, but it was a long time coming for me. Been waiting all year. I'm gonna definitely be following him a lot. We should make like some t-shirts with his face on them.
And also our guy Blades Brown also playing in it. Might be a sneaky good pick this week.
Blades Brown is always a good pick.
And Luke Clanton as well. When he played in this as an amateur, he finished in the top 5.
I don't know
So
what's going on with Luke Clanton this year, but he's a
yeah,
superstar too.
yeah, it's a little sophomore slump, is what we like to call it. Second year on tour, struggling a little bit, but that's all right.
He'll
But
get back at it.
that's what I always love about the John Deere. You see the young guns in the game taking the center stage and taking over. But let's make some picks here. I'll go first. I think this is the perfect course for Chris Goddard. We know how well he can drive the ball, so I think if he can just get it in the fairway, he'll have a couple short irons in and take advantage of those shorter par 5s and par 4s that I mentioned. JT Poston, he's already won this thing a couple of years ago. I think he's motivated for what happened at the Travelers that we talked about, and the most well dressed man on the PGA Tour, Cashmere Keith Mitchell. If we remember back what he did at the U.S. Open, 4 rounds of even par. So I'm just going to pick him based off that. I think the fact that he was able to bounce back from a 41 with the 29 in the back 9, one of those rounds, I think he's found some good game, and in a I guess you could say lesser field, but still a great field, he can find his way out there to a win.
Yeah, I think the fact that Ben Griffin is a favorite talks about this course a lot since Ben Griffin is not a bomber. He usually doesn't even use his driver. He's just like placing it in the fairway, hitting the green, making the putt. And I think Kid Mitchell has that sort of game too. And so that's a good pick.
Julian's getting on the picks game too. He's going with the favorite, Ben Griffin. Also, JT Poston and Eric Cole, who has been pretty much in every tournament the last 4 or 5 weeks, but just hasn't closed it out. So take us into your picks here, Julian. Why
You
you got
know,
these 3?
yeah, Ben Griffin always solid. JT Poston's coming, from a hot, streak, since the Open, and then I think sometimes, I'm a believer, and I think Eric Cole can get it done. So hopefully, because he's a good player, he just has to close it out.
Yeah, he was in that playoff at the Memorial. He was right there at the RBC Canadian. So He's just knocking on the door. He's like Scottie trying to win, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So for such a, small guy, he's not built. I think he can hit it pretty well. So
Yeah, I think you can actually see Eric Cole dominating the Challenger Series.
yes. Yes. And only 2 of those wins on the Challenger Series is on the Championship Series. So there you go, according to the plan they're putting in place. So there we go.
Yeah.
Let's go to Fernando's favorites. Tom Kim, who we'll see at the U.S. Open again next year because he finished in the top 10. He's found some good form lately. Emiliano Grillo, who was, if you remember, he was in that playoff last year at the John Deere Classic. I followed him on that 18th hole for that playoff, so that was exciting the way it ended there. And then Dylan Fratelli, who usually plays on the DP World Tour, but because he's won the John Deere Classic, he can keep coming back and playing as long as he wants. So what do we think about these 3, Fernando? What are you seeing from their games?
Yeah, Tom Keane is outstanding. His charisma and his mental fortitude, especially now that he's hitting the ball well again, he can just go deep and he'll take it till the end, and he can make the clutch putts, and he gets excited and gets the crowd going, and we need him in this sport. And Emiliano Grillo has been the best Latin American player for a long time now, and he's been trending. So he's a great iron player, which is uh, paramount in this course. And Fritelli, like we said, played well last week, and former champion. He should be able to do well, especially since he beat Patrick Reed in the practice round last week in Italy, as you can see in his YouTube channel.
Okay, hey, nice. We got some other YouTube guys out here doing work. We love seeing that. Did you see the video of Bryson? His 34-minute video saying why he missed the three cuts at the majors.
No.
How he made a lot of money talking about his current play.
Yeah. He literally just sat at his kitchen, had a camera just like here, like a webcam, and he's looking at it. 35 minutes. He just starts listing off things about why he missed the 3 cuts at the majors this year. So
a lot of excuses, or just
a lot of blame for himself, tinkering with equipment, as we know he likes to do, just and bad preparation, just a lot of different things. But yeah, we know he likes to mess with his equipment a lot.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he's pushing to save live, I mean, I don't care if he misses the cut.
Well, he's in the investment meetings, unlike John Rahm, right? So,
I mean, he's definitely focusing on other things and not golf. But I think he's gonna sacrifice himself for live. I love it, and he can just play well again once he focuses on once live is salvaged.
I mean, and even if that doesn't survive, he's like, I'm just going to do YouTube and play the majors anyway. So there we go.
And he's good enough to win. I mean, he's always going to be in the mix, in the conversation at least.
Oh yeah, he'll always be a favorite on Live. If Live continues to exist, it'll always be him and Rahm. So there we love to see it. We won't be able to talk about Live until after the Open, but that's okay. I know if you want to watch some Live guys, I saw Ian Poulter is playing the U.S. Senior Open this week, so that'll be exciting.
And Richard Bland.
Yeah. So there's a lot of and
Michael Block.
Yeah, DP World Tour. Just if you want to watch some of these Live guys, they're out there.
Michael Block was almost won at his Champions Tour debut, but he finished with a triple. But he still finished top 10.
I saw that. Yeah. But Stuart Sink and Zach Johnson are winning the most out there. So good for the still young guys, 50 plus guys.
Man, I will never forgive Zach Johnson for not picking Lucas Glover at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
What was that?
Even Keegan too. That was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking to watch on Netflix. That was like the most heartbreaking thing.
Himself.
Yes, but hey, Ryder Cup, we still have another year to be upset about that and be sad about that.
This year is about the President's Cup that we have. in
And the U.S.
October.
will win that, so it's okay. But you know,
Emiliano Grillo is the international team's best hope.
yeah. Well, too bad Neiman can't play because Neiman would win. So yeah,
Yeah, that's sad. And Answer and Ortiz are also out for that.
yeah. All right. Well, I think we've talked enough. Hit the 40-minute mark. But if you enjoyed all our good back and forth banter here about golf, we're here every week on the Cousins Conversations YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button for weekly episodes and content here throughout every PGA Tour event, live event, DP World Tour event throughout the weekends. We have coverage here on the channel. And yeah, we're here every week talking about the big stories in golf. Fernando will talk about his golf as well. And now we have one of Fernando's caddies on, giving us the inside information on Fernando. So we appreciate Julian coming on. Julian, any last parting thoughts for the people here?
Thank you so much for having me, and it was just a pleasure to hear you guys out, and it's really fun to be in the program. So thank you for having me.
Of course,
Thank
yeah.
you,
We always love having guests. It's way better than hearing Fernando and I talk.
Yeah.
Have you invited Paul?
Not yet. No,
No.
but Paul, this episode will last 2 hours. He will let Paul come in.
Yeah.
It would be the longest episode ever if he was on.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want that. Sorry, Paul.
All right, guys.
Anyway, yeah, do what you need to do out there, people. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I have the links in my bio for the page as well. So go over, hit that subscribe button. But we'll be back here next week. You saw our John Deere Classic picks. We'll be back to recap it all next week. We appreciate you all for joining us, and have a great week, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.